Hey, this is Jack at TC3. Today we're going to replace a broken emergency brake cable on the 96 Ford F150, but this actually covers probably 20 or more years worth of F150s, 250s, and 350s. Are pretty much all the same. So the brake cable that you just saw was broken. They almost all break in the same spot where your pedal, you depress your pedal to apply the brake. So we're going to take this little panel off that's in front of the brake pedal assembly. And there's two pull clips, one pulls straight out, and then you need to lift the panel up by the door jamb to get that out. That'll be the little cleat that is on your emergency brake cable, and you can just kind of weasel that. It's like a barbed clip that holds that in that bracket. You can just weasel that off. You can either push the spines in and push it through the hole, or just pull that piece off. It's just as easy. So it's going to come up through your floor. There's a grommet seal there. And just to make it easier, this is a picture of the emergency brake. Those are the three mounting holes, because it's actually a little bit of a pain to find them. So these were the three that I just showed you. And you're going to remove those three. And this assembly will come undone here. And you can remove it. Now you're going to have an electric cable attached to your emergency brake cable. You just need to pull that and she'll come out. Alright, I don't know if you can see that in there, but there's the broken part of the cable end. You need to get the old one out because the wire pulled loose from that, and that was the brake, so you need to get that thing out of there. Yeah, there it is. Make room for the new one. Okay, here's one of those barbed clips. This is underneath of your cab below your driver's door. You either push them in and pull it through like that, or you can pop that whole clip off like you did on the brake assembly. That's what you call your intermediate cable. There's three cables, the ones that go to the brakes. And you need to disconnect your front cable from this. So you just slide it forward and yeah, I mostly got it loose, but this is how it goes in. You disconnect right there like that. Pull your wire through your frame pieces there, and yeah, here we have it up here, and you can just pull the whole thing up through the hole and remove the entire cable. There you go, that's the front cable. Alright, so this thing is like squeaky and noisy, and I'll more than likely never have this assembly off again, so I'm just gonna grease this. I'm tired of listening to it squeak. And yeah, this stuff I'm spraying on here is grease for a garage door, wheels and track, and when it dries it's like nasty grease that doesn't come off, so it works really well in this application. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but you know, it took some of that grinding sound away. And I bought an AC Delco replacement emergency brake cable. And so this one's fit right to this, and yeah, there's the new cable. Just fish that up through the hole where the mount of the sheath will go. Bring it up back around, and there's a little hole drilled into you'll see the part where the gears that hold your emergency brake are. There's a hole drilled in there, and that just needs to push in sideways like that. You see that shiny thing? That's the cable end, and you can see the cables in that track. You need to have it like that. On the other end, you're going to push your sheath up and push this in. Again, this is one of those clips, and it has like the barbs. You just push it through, and it'll stay. So needs a little pressure, so I just whack it in there. Anyway, she ain't gonna come out, and this is what it should look like. All right. Now, when you go to mount this, just fish your cable back down through the hole in the floorboard there, and that's the other mount for the frame underneath that just went through. You can put that down, then you're gonna mount your brake assembly back to the driver's side wall there. So you have your 3 bolts again, one at the top, one towards the brake cable, and then one down by where the cable comes through. So, and the one on the top. Tried to get a better picture of that, but I'll tell you it's tight in there. And don't forget your brake cable light, or it'll be showing that your emergency brake's on all the time. So then just slide that thing back on, and there you go. Yeah, and get that grommet fitted into your floorboard so that the water doesn't come up on rainy days. Now underneath, you're gonna put that push mount through the hole under there like that. It should be flush up against. Yeah, and you see your barbs are there, and there's your end. Okay, you're gonna want your emergency brake to be totally released to leave off the most slack in your brake cable, because you got to get this all together again. Now we're going to take, this is the intermediate cable and the back equalizer, so we're going to remove that from there. It just pulls out, and your front's going to slide into this mount, cable connector, and I'm just going to take some channel locks and kind of press it in there, because it's going to end up in there eventually anyway. So I just take a quick check of that, make sure that the cable's in the right spot. Now you can see this ain't quite reaching. So this is how I did it. I don't know if this is the right way or not. I took like a tie strap, ratchet strap, and pulled on my 2 e-brake cables. I have to get them a little closer so I could get this together. So now the front, the new cable is connected to the intermediate cable. I'm going to pull this. You're going to have to pull on the one from the intermediate cable pretty hard to pull up the extra slack, but it's doable. And then you get it through that hole, and there you go. Now, if you can't get it, you may have to loosen. You may or may not have to do this step. I did, because I changed my back brakes, but that's not really the subject here. So, to loosen this, like if you just can't get that to reach, what you're going to do is this little clip is what causes this to self-adjust itself and stay. So you're going to loosen this until it's all the way in like that, and that's going to give you the maximum slack you could possibly have. Okay, when you do put your drum back on to readjust and you all got it together, that should drag ever so slightly on your brake pad. So use that adjuster to adjust in or out till it's slightly dragging on your brake pads, and when you could hear that grind. Once you hear that, you got it. And you put her back together. So we're just going to get around to putting our trim panel back on. That little thing will slide down onto that stud sticking out, which was also plastic. And then there's one that pushes in straight right alongside of your emergency brake pedal. Okay, yeah, you push that down and slide down onto it, and that's what holds that in tight. And, okay, you're going to put, you're going to screw your panels in. And here's the one that pushes in straight. It's just a push clip. Yeah, my hand's in the way. But there it is. You just bang it in so it holds tight. You don't gotta kill it, okay? And thanks for watching. That's about it.